I was knackered, I was hanging, still trying to work out what the hell's wrong with me. And he must have been in there less than 5 minutes. It was like, must be his home time, because he was in less than 5 minutes. And it was like, can't see anything wrong on the MRI. So I think it's just a case of following up with the neurologist in the future.
Yeah.
And left, and I was like...
Because how long was you in hospital for?
Just over 4 days.
Yeah, and all of that was
No,
spent.
five, because we came home Thursday.
And it was all in A&E.
All in A&E bar one night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, unfortunately, we literally were there Sunday night, Monday night and Tuesday night.
Yeah.
In A&E. We went from like the assessment section back to the A&E and back and forth, and had several different tests. In the space that we were there, God, I can't count how many doctors we saw.
Yeah, it was a few.
And they all did the same test.
It was like Groundhog Day every time you saw a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
It was the same test that they were doing with the limbs.
It's called a certain thing if you go online, but basically it tests your reflexes and how you move and push and joint and all that. It is called something. And they ruled out the stroke. They ruled out the Guillain-Barre because, well, normally with Guillain-Barre, it starts, well, a lot of serious illnesses regarding movement starts on your toes.
Yeah.
And works your way up.
Yeah.
What the doctors said anyway.
And because it started in your new hands,
they weren't
discounted.
As worried. Managed to get a bed for a couple of hours, so managed to get a couple of hours shut eye. But then obviously as soon as I was in the bed, the wheelchair went.
Yeah.
So then I was back outside in the waiting room. Then a nurse that obviously had been on shift a few times whilst I'd been there, she had come home back and a few times. She was like, "Oh, you've been here a while, haven't you?" She said, "There's a spare chair in one of the cubicles, a more comfortable chair." And there was about 4 of us in this one cubicle that was meant to be for one person. But unfortunately, again, that's
the way the NHS is at the moment.
It's so...
There's a lot of issues there that are...
Yeah, and none, I never stated any it down to the doctors or the nurses or anything. It's just the way it is at the moment. It's the system's broke. So...
And after the 5 days then, what was the conclusion?
Well, no, it was the Wednesday. The Wednesday evening, they were like, "We got you a bed." And they were like, "Right, you got a bed, you can go up." And I was like, "Great." Oh, no, she's got her MRI. We got it on MRI. And I was like, "Oh, it's sod's law, it all comes at once." So on the Wednesday, we had the MRI. Well, I did. They just did the neck and head, neck and shoulders.
Yeah.
Because again, if anything that serious, it would be there. There was talk of a lumbar puncture, but they didn't want to go down that route just yet. So Wednesday night, finally got a bed, and I think the neurologist, that was the first time I saw a neurologist, was Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, I've been in hospital now since Sunday evening, so
it was a long...
I've had barely any sleep.
Because you just can't.
You just can't. It's just so hectic there, and all the beeping, and he came up, but I wasn't with it. I've had no sleep.
Yeah.
I was knackered, I was hanging, still trying to work out what the hell's wrong with me, and he must have been in there less than 5 minutes. It was like, must be his home time, because he was in less than 5 minutes, and he was like, can't see anything wrong on the MRI. So I think it's just a case of following up with the neurologist in the future.
Yeah.
And left, and I was like, what?
5 days and we were there, and it was... So
Thursday came around, had some work with the physio around the bed, assessing how I could get in and out of the bed and whatnot. By this time, you had been home. You would put your head on and brought the bed down into the living room because you knew full well that this wasn't going to be something that was going to go away.
Permanent thing, yeah.
So,
you just had a gut feeling.
So the physio came around with the OT and stuff, and they were asking about the layout of the house and how things were. Luckily, we got a downstairs toilet, and you had stated already that, right, I've moved the bed downstairs so she doesn't have to go up and down stairs. And they were like, right, do you want a commode? Do you want this? They got me a stool. They got me a special railings for on the toilet. OT was great in the hospital. Couldn't fault it.
They were quick as well. As soon as
literally, because literally they must have spoken to someone Wednesday night or early hours Thursday, because we had come home Thursday and Friday there was a knock at the door
and she was there
with all this equipment, and we were like, wow, so still none the wiser at this point. The doctor that came around, which was like, he just wanted people out.